Sitting here thinking about that Battlefield 6 launch trailer for a minute now. Aside from it being fucking hilarious, just uh some like 50 Cent Ja Rule shit, like I'm gonna bury you type shit. Um, the Battlefield 6 trailer, they did something pretty kind of remarkable unintentionally. It really brought me back. Like for me, like I feel like most people, like we in times where it's like people like to take a trip down memory lane. I don't know. I think it's like that. It's like a theme for most people. It's like we look back because you know what I mean, we miss not taking, you know what I mean, that I guess you can say the time to like be in the moment rather than just, you know what I'm saying, just thinking about the future or your troubles and worries and stuff. It was just simpler times back then. I guess to sum it all up, or at least I can assume. I don't know. It's probably relative for other people, but I think most people can, you know what I mean, agree upon that. But anyways, I digress. The commercial, the ad, just obliterating Call of Duty. While hilarious, it kind of brought back that old feeling of like what I was talking about. You know what I mean? Back when advertisements, you know what I mean, like things were just more like simple and just was more fun. Um, More so, it specifically for in gaming as well. Like mainly, you know what I mean. Like we live in a world now where it's like it's like you can't satisfy everybody. Um, i.e., just for example, I'm gonna get into that later. I'm probably gonna probably gonna be a little longer. I might splice it up. But the Halo Combat Campaign Evolved, excuse me, that's a fucking terrible name, by the way. Um, yeah, I don't know who agreed to that in the meeting room and shit. But yeah, that game is just getting ripped apart, man. And I don't understand why. Like the game aesthetically, like I'm not the biggest Halo fan, per se. Being like I should say I have an unbiased opinion stance towards it, being that I'm like I had a PlayStation 2 and following the PlayStation 3, I bought the 360 later, so I didn't. Those games moved on. You know what I mean? Like the first Halo, in the second Halo, and so forth and so forth. Like games like things were progressing. Like I grew up on Killzone and Resistance, Fall of Man, and 2 and 3. But that's neither here or there. I'm just trying to put things in perspective. Of like, you know what I mean? Instead of painting pictures, like I have no hate towards Halo. It's just that I didn't grow up with the same memories with it. Although I do like have an appreciation for it. I played it, but I didn't like go through. Like I played the multiplayers like Combat Evolved and 3, like over friends' houses and on their PC and shit. But I didn't, like play through the campaign, so I don't have the same like feelings towards it. Although the multiplayers are great. But just using Halo for an example, like the reason why I do have an appreciation for it, it's not just the multiplayer experiences like I thought was good. It was the ads, the advertisements. Like, man, like I have a whole on my Instagram page, like a whole highlight reel dedicated to old advertisements. You know what I mean? Just for me, it's like a diary. Like things that just like were burnt and cemented in my brain for like for eternity. That will be burned in my brain for eternity, because it's like even though I didn't have the console, like seeing those ads, I'm like, oh man, like this shit looks great. Like they were very well directed, like especially like Halo 3 and Gears, that what's that one song when it's like do 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 that from Little Miss Sunshine and shit, and then the Halo one and shit, you know what I mean? Like it was a couple of them. But I'm bringing that to say this, like that's what, like it was just a feeling, you know what I mean? It was like some like magic around it. What it felt like. It felt like it was like, oh man, like you were missing out on something, or something like something great if you didn't like have the game. Granted, I'm the kid, so I'm like, okay, like I'll see it. I'm like, oh cool, and then I went off and did my own things and shit. But the more and more time like I grew up and I started to let it marinate, I did kind of like have like a little bit of resentment of not experiencing those things, you know what I mean? Because it's like, yo, what I seen, I'm like, holy shit, like that would have been an experience, you know what I mean? Like seeing it and then actually playing it, You know what I mean? And like the hype circling around it. Like, granted, I had my own experiences with, and I was happy about it. You know what I'm saying? On PlayStation, very satisfied. But it would have been nice to have the best of both worlds. Granted, I've grown older and I can purchase these games. I have these games. I have both consoles, the Xbox and the PlayStation, but it still wouldn't have hit the same. You know what I mean? In real time. But bringing it back to that Battlefield commercial, you know what I mean? It kind of felt like that. It felt like oh, that sense of like, you know what I mean? Like I said before, not to sound redundant, like while they were like taking, it was a complete taking a dig, like okay, like genius marketing. You know what I'm saying? Just like, again, like that whole Ja Rule. It's like, oh, bitch, like, nigga, I'm shot. I'm back, bitch. I'm still alive, nigga. Like, you know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna come back strong. Now I'm gonna destroy your fucking career. But it just felt like, you know what I'm saying? It felt more important than that. I don't know if it was intentionally or unintentionally, but in my eyes, I'm like, yo, this is fucking great, man. Like, it felt like I was transported in like 2009 or 11 when like that was like the first person shooters was like in COD and Battlefield. So, you know what I mean? Just to stick to the, you know what I mean? Stick to the theme, was like, there were juggernauts and shit. You know what I'm saying? It was like, while there was like it was clearly like a competition. Oh, what's better, like the Battlefield versus COD conversation was like always a thing, but it was, both things could coexist. Like Call of Duty, like, say what you want about it, you know what I mean? But I don't think anybody would debate like they weren't playing. You know what I'm saying? They were choosing Battlefield over COD. You know what I'm saying? While there are two completely different games and different experiences. You know what I mean? The only similarities, they were like first-person shooters, but now it's more so, you know what I mean, going in modern times can be a conversation. But before, it was like, okay, like they're both great in their own right and shit. But the commercials, it really wasn't, you know what I mean, about like, oh, like what's better. It was like they had their own flavor, their own steez to this shit. Like Battlefield, my first introduction to that Battlefield was Bad Company 2. Excuse me. And those commercials were fucking great, man. Like, especially like the multiplayer and then the squad shit. I forget what it was called. It was this one content creator on YouTube, like during the launch of I think I mentioned this before in my one reaction, or not reaction, like impression vid of Battlefield 6 before the beta and shit. Leading up to the beta. I was tuning in to this one dude, I think his name was like Stone Mountain or something like that, and he was watching, like taking a trip down memory lane, and he went on going and saying like how he didn't have that much experience with Bad Company, but when he was watching the trailer and like everybody's watching the tune, I'm watching this shit in real time, they was like, yo, you gotta play this game, and he was like, yo, like maybe I should, this looks fucking awesome, man. So, you know what I mean, like that just goes to show you, like it's not just nostalgia, like it just had, like, it was a certain kind of like feeling that it invoked it, you know what I'm saying, like with the commercial and shit. I don't know, I think that's just something like missing this day and age. You know what I mean, like that magical kind of, and that doesn't take away from a game being good. There's a lot of fucking great games. I just think everything circling around it, like, and granted, that's a whole nother time. I made it like with the leaks and shit, like it kind of like sucked the magic out of shit, even though leaks was always like a thing going back to like the PS3 era and shit. It just only got worse over, you know, as time went on. But you know what I'm saying, like that on top of like just games just being like, okay, like here's the fucking trailer and then the game is out and whatever. It's no like real build up, you know what I'm saying? Like even like with the consoles advertisements and shit with the PlayStation, I don't even need an introduction. That was some trippy ass shit. But it made you like, you know what I mean? It pulled you in and be like, same with Xbox. I don't want to leave them out too. Like it was a lot of great things. And on top of like the video games and shit, like with the release with Crash and Jack and Dexter, GTA always kind of nailed it. You know what I mean? They were always kind of had like this mystique about them anyway. You know what I'm saying? Like they don't even have to be at E3 and shit, like, or just need that much pro. All they got to do is just fucking pit a title, you know what I'm saying? A trademark and shit on a blog, website and shit, and people will go ape shit. So they're kind of an anomaly, but every other game and shit like that, like it was so much effort and like care, and it seemed like, you know what I mean, like the people that, like the marketing people behind it, it's like they had just as much as passion for it too, you know what I mean? Before, now it's just all about like, okay, like fucking, you know what I'm saying? Like, we're gonna throw in this trailer, put this together, and then in the end, we're gonna put all this, I don't know, battle pass shit. You know what I'm saying? Day one, pay to win shit. You know what I'm saying? To get, you know what I mean? Like, and let's move on and whatnot. But the other shit, they were like fucking, you know what I'm saying? Back in the day, there was like Mountain Dew, like people had like sponsorships by what fucking Taco Bell and shit. Wow, that's like, you know what I mean? Very like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't think a game this day and age, you don't need to do that anymore. You know what I'm saying? To sell a game, you know what I mean? Like, it's telling you, look at something like a Black Myth Wukong and shit, and it's like the most top selling, most wish list game and shit like that. But the marketing behind that, like with a Taco Bell or whatever the fuck, you know what I'm saying, fast food chain or whatever, like it just made you feel like you couldn't like escape the, you know what I mean, like the hype circling around this shit, you know what I mean? Like, again, like some games still do that. Like, I think Rockstar is probably like the only ones. I don't live in the West Coast, so there's probably like, they probably do pit like billboards or like other games and shit, but I know Rockstar is one of the big ones where it's like most, if not every other GTA game or in Red Dead, you know what I'm saying? Maybe not like a Warriors or a Bully and shit, but I know with Grand Theft Auto for a fact, it's like, nigga, like they got billboards, all type of shit. You know what I'm saying? Maybe a Fallout, you know what I'm saying, from here and there and shit, but like you don't see that, you know what I'm saying, if it's not like in the major cities. Like, but before, like with other games, like it didn't matter how big or small it was, there were like some like marketing campaign, you know what I'm saying, to coincide with it, to make people like court attention to it and be like, oh shit, like what's this, you know what I'm saying? Like all this shit, like I wish I can like still kept from back in the day, like some cups and shit or whatever, you know what I mean, when Modern Warfare 2 first came out, you know what I mean, before the launch, or Modern Warfare 3, Saints Row or some shit, you know what I mean? Like, come on, I mean, Saints, what the fuck, what were they selling, dildos? I don't even know, that's probably a bad example, but yeah, you know what I mean? Like, it's just, you know, I don't know. Maybe I'm just a boomer now, getting that unk status, and I'm just bitching. You know what I'm saying? Like, nah, I don't think it is. I think I know. Like, I'm articulating myself pretty well. I hope y'all guys get it too. You know what I'm saying? I take it as you watching this. You know what I'm saying? This vid. I don't even know what to title it. I have a couple things in mind, but I'm pretty sure I articulated pretty well. Y'all get what I'm, you know what I'm saying, trying to say. But yeah, let's bring that back, man. Like, I know maybe it's just as times go on, the monkey mind can't keep up. You know what I'm saying? Like, they just don't have that much time to invest to be buying. You know what I mean? Like, pouring into all these advertisements. Like, you need people's the attention quick, fast, and in a hurry. You know what I'm saying? Like, time is the essence. So that might be a thing too. That as times went on and shit, it's like, all right, like get to the fucking point and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was cool. Fucking 3 consoles ago, generations of consoles and shit, but now it's like, all right, like just wrap it the fuck up. Like, I don't know, I'm not a metric guy, I don't know, you know what I'm saying, the numbers shit, I'm just more like a consumer. But I'm pretty sure, you know what I'm saying, like that kind of helped push the console, you know what I'm saying, as well, you know what I mean, with those advertisements, because you couldn't escape it, and it was very intriguing seeing that shit. Like, there were so many commercials with PlayStation growing up, you know what I'm saying, just the ads like of them selling the consoles were leading up to like the launch of the PlayStation 2 and so forth. It was some wacky shit, like you could see it on YouTube, you know what I'm saying, if you haven't already. Like, it was like, holy fuck, like damn, it made you feel like you was going into like some, you know what I mean, like, oh shit, like owning this console was like you transported in another like dimension and shit, you know what I mean, like very alien like and shit. Same with the, you know, again, no shade to the Xbox and the N360, because they knew how to sell a console too, man, for real. Like, again, like for the longest, I'm just blabbing at this point, you know what I'm saying, but bear with me and shit, and I'm gonna wrap this up. But for the longest, you would have thought, you know what I'm saying, it's crazy how shit just get flipped. I could just say, like, you would have fucking thought that Call of Duty and shit was owned, like Microsoft owned them niggas then, you know what I'm saying? And the Saints Row was like, everything was bundled with that. And that's crazy how like Sony just kind of hit the Uno reverse card on them niggas, you know what I'm saying? Now GTA, same with GTA, man, like the Battle of Gay Tony and the Lost and Damned, like that was a Xbox timed exclusive. A lot of people don't know and realize, maybe, you know what I'm saying, if you didn't grow up in them times. or if you don't know what the fuck I'm talking about or seen it, you know what I'm saying, or you just a new jack to like, you know what I'm saying, old video games and shit. But yeah, man, like it's sad, but it's kind of bittersweet at the time because it's like it's cool like how a lot of these things, like again, like I mentioned before, like I have like a whole thumbnail, you know what I'm saying, reel dedicated to that shit. I mean, not a thumbnail, what am I trying to say, a whole highlight reel on my page dedicated to that, or just different, like with a couple other shit thrown in it too. Like I got some ShamWow and cereal commercials and shit in there, you know what I'm saying, just different things, but mainly it's like gaming shit, you know what I mean. Like I'll just be going about my day and be hit with that, you know what I'm saying. I'll see, look at the fucking sun or just the way how I look outside, you know what I'm saying, it just invokes that feeling, you know what I'm saying. Like you ever had that, like that sense of like deja vu, or it's hit with nostalgia out of fucking nowhere, and it's like, oh man, like this day reminds me of, you know what I'm saying, when I first bought this shit, you know what I'm saying. Like I can go as far as to know what I was doing, what I was like, you know what I mean, like where I was going to and shit, who I was talking to at the time when I seen that commercial or was walking to the store, you know what I'm saying, or my mom dropped me off in that GameStop, you know what I'm saying, and waiting in the parking lot for me to grab the game and shit like that. Yeah, the shit, it's crazy, man, like how time fly. I don't know why this shit just turned into a fucking like memoir and shit. Yeah, I'm gonna wrap this up, but yeah, that's just my thoughts, you know what I'm saying. I had that in the back of my mind for a little bit, but yeah, that's I wanted to give that ad like more of its shine. Like I don't think people realize, you know what I'm saying. I haven't seen anybody talking to Blade about it, you know, but how I'm doing it, you know what I'm saying. It was mainly just like, oh shit, like Battlefield this COD, but it's like, nah, like this shit was kind of like the underlying thing of it, like it was more better than what it's, you know what I mean, it was cracked up to be. Like granted, like it did what it did with the marketing and shit, but it really felt like that I was back in, like I was transported in time in a, I guess you can say, the quote unquote good old days and shit. But yeah, man, hopefully we get to see more of that games go that route, you know what I'm saying, and put more of that love and care, you know what I'm saying, and you know what I mean, for the, cause you know we're gonna buy the games regardless, and like it or bitch about it, you know what I'm saying, but it'll be good regardless to see the marketing agencies, if you want to call them that, I don't really know, you know, go that route again. But yeah, I'm gonna stop yapping and shit and actually play this game. This game is actually fucking great, man. I'm getting it's my first time. I played the reboot Tomb Raider, the reboot that came out, but this one I never had a chance to get around to. I had it on Game Pass, but they gave it to us on PlayStation Plus as well as Shadow of the Tomb Raider. So I'm like, you know what? I got something, you know. The Outer Worlds comes out this week, but I want to play something, you know what I'm saying, story driven. You know what I mean? You can probably blow through this in like a 10 to 15 hours. And I'm like, yeah, let me sink my teeth into this a little bit just to play something in the meantime. But I'm actually kind of highly impressed by this shit, honestly. The gameplay's janky as fuck. But the cinematic shit, you know what I'm saying? Like if you a fan of Uncharted, you know, or if you a fan of Tomb Raider, you know what I'm saying? Like if you, you know what I mean, one of these, like me, you know what I'm saying, that grew up on Tomb Raider and shit, like they actually kind of was able to capture the whole feel, you know what I mean? I don't want to go as far to say maybe not the feeling, but like there were scenes, without getting into the spoilers, that there were scenes and certain characters that was very reminiscent to like its predecessors. I don't even think you can even say that, call it a predecessor, being that this is a reboot. But the Tomb Raider, you know what I'm trying to say, the games that came before and shit, you know what I'm saying, very like Tomb Raider, you know what I mean, like, and I have the 20th anniversary, so it's like a celebration of Tomb Raider anyway, you know what I'm saying, this game, I guess that was the intention. But yeah, the story's dope, fucking, you know what I mean, the characters are pretty compelling and shit. It's just the gameplay that's like a lot to leave desired. But overall I'm having a good time and shit, you know what I'm saying. Like I've always during, I think, well, the reboot I should say, because that was the only one I played through from start to finish. I always did thought before, again, like my mind wasn't my horizons wasn't expanded, I guess you could say, at the time. But during like that whole Uncharted, you know what I'm saying? When I first seen it, I'm like, oh, like this looks cool, like, you know what I mean? Like before Tomb Raider, I'm like, oh, so it's like Uncharted, you know what I'm saying, and shit. But I remember playing and actually enjoying the reboot more than I did Uncharted 4. My opinion has changed since then, you know what I mean? Going back and playing Uncharted 4 again, and my mind was just, my horizon wasn't, my frontal lobe or whatever the fuck wasn't fully developed. I didn't really appreciate the more slow, methodical, slow burn pace of Uncharted 4. But that game is fucking great now that I played it a second time recently. I also had that uploaded on my channel. But yeah, I always thought, I'm like, damn, like the reboot, like it's more action packed, you know what I'm saying, gory and shit like that. I'm like, oh, so this is like, oh, I like that shit better than this one. Like, what the fuck is this dog shit of a game? Like, this ain't my Uncharted. Like, Uncharted 3, I guess you could say, is where it peaked. Uncharted 2 is my favorite, but yeah, I think nobody would debate and say like that Uncharted 3 was like fucking holy shit, you know what I'm saying? Like, you want to talk about going back to what I was saying about, you know, again with the commercial. I don't want to go down that fucking rabbit hole again. I'll be talking for hours and shit. It'll turn into a fucking hour-long podcast and shit, single podcast. But nah, for real, you know what I'm saying? Just to give it that shine again, even the PS3 era, you know what I'm saying? Like with the ads and shit, not just the PS2. Like, nah, they know how to sell a fucking game, bro. Even with the Uncharted shit, they even had like some fucking, I'm can assume, and I'm pretty sure, don't quote me on it, but I think there was like some Burger King and Uncharted shits. I've seen a couple cups, I think, but like that sequence with the plane and shit, you know what I'm saying? I'm pretty sure that, I don't know why that just got hit with that, you know what I'm saying? I'm pretty, don't quote me, but I'm pretty sure that that's around. I probably gotta look that up, or somebody might have that for like memorabilia and shit, you know what I'm saying? Just preserved somewhere of like an old fucking Burger King cup with Uncharted. That shit probably worth some bread now. Hopefully they wash that shit out though. Stinky ass, hot ass breath. Or they might still use it. That'll be dope. But yeah, we need to bring that shit back, bro. more gaming fucking memorabilia and shit, you know? Like, you know what I'm saying? Fuck these amiibo shits. You know? What happened to the I need to just merge and shit with these fast food chains. All right, this shit is getting this. All right, I'm all right. I'm dragging it now at this point. But yeah, man, check this game out. You know what I'm saying? If you made it to the end, if you have it and shit, if you didn't get to play it, this is great. But yeah, y'all gotta stay up and stay blessed. Thanks for staying for that long ass ramble. Me just talking like a crazy person and shit.